There is a reason why traders are getting 7-figure payouts of Apex, and why Apex single-handedly is the only prop firm to ever pay out a 7-figure payout and consistently pay out traders 6-figure payouts. While most traders can't even hold a funded account for a week, and it has nothing to do with luck or the strategy that they're using. The truth is, Apex rewards a specific trading style, and most traders don't even know that it exists, and this style can work regardless of whatever strategy you're using when you're day trading. You've probably tried Apex, blown accounts, tilted and failed some challenges, not because you're a bad trader, but because you're playing the game for Apex wrong. But the traders that you are seeing that are getting the 7-figure and 6-figure payouts are doing things differently. And I've taken the time to study these traders, watch what they're doing and how they're trading accounts, watch what type of accounts they're buying, every single detail that is going into their approach to actually dealing with Apex, and I think I've cracked the code. That's why in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how they're doing it so you can use the same formula and have your own success with Apex. So be sure to stick around and watch this video all the way through to the end, because you're not going to want to miss out on this. Apex are one of the most popular and reliable prop firms in the prop firm future space. They're definitely in the top 3 futures prop firms because they have single-handedly, and I promise right now, if you go look at the stats, they have single-handedly paid out the most 6-figure and 7-figure payouts in the prop firm space. And the reason why is because of their unique model that they offer to traders. And I think they're actually the only ones that have ever done 7-figure payouts in the history of prop firms. And obviously, as we get deeper in the video, I'm going to show you how to crack the code with Apex. Now, the law of Apex and why I say it's much easier to get 6-figure payouts with Apex, right? Because it is single-handedly one of the most scalable prop firms. The reason why I say this is because Apex is one of the only prop firms that allow you to trade 20 accounts at the same time. So the scale potential is massive. Imagine having 20 50k accounts all copy traded, right? And you're making $500 a day on each account. You have literally made $10,000 in a day. So I know it sounds crazy to say, oh no, 6-figure payouts, but trust me, if you do things the right way that I'm going to show in this video and you follow the plan, you're going to give yourself the greatest chance to be able to get to this level, because hitting 6 figures across 20 accounts, you only need to make 10k in each account to make 200k, 5k in each account to make 100k. So do you see the scale potential that Apex can offer you? And that is why a lot of people are consistently getting 6-figure and some 7-figure payouts from Apex, is because the scaling potential is just incredible. And the most important thing is doing things the right way, and you have to have a strategic approach to Apex, and that's how you make Apex work. And if you can crack the code using the things I'm going to share with you in this video, because some of you guys are probably already trading Apex, but you're always confused, like, how is it that everyone else is able to do these numbers and why can't I? It's probably because you're probably not doing one of the things that I'm going to share with you as we progress in this video. So pay attention. So how are traders pulling in $1 million and 6-figure payout? One thing I need you guys to understand about Apex is that all you really need, guys, with Apex is one solid run to change the trajectory of your life. It's not easy, but if you follow the right approach that these guys who are pulling in the 6-figure payouts and 7-figure payouts and the things I'm going to share with you in this video, it's possible. But it all starts with being strategic and being intentional with your approach to Apex, guys, because other people have done it, so why can't you? That's the mindset I need you guys to go into as you're going into this Apex run, is that other people have done it, so why can't I? Because you are worthy, you can do it, but you just need to do things right. And everything matters, every detail matters, even down to the account size you buy matters. And that's why I put it here. It all starts with buying the right accounts. Now, the people who have been able to get 6-figure payouts, and even some of the guys that have been able to get 7-figure payouts, the top guy, shout out to JCap, who literally has the highest single prop firm payout ever, was literally using 150k account sizes. And some of the guys that are playing 6-figure payout have used 50k accounts, and they use these accounts for specific reasons, guys. It's because these accounts are much easier to trade and are much easier to get going. And what do I mean? When you're trading Apex, you need to stick to buying these accounts because they're the easiest to pass based on the relative profit target to drawdown ratio, which means that you can pass with less effort, guys. For example, in this 50k account size, you have your profit target is $3,000, but your max drawdown is $2,500. So that means that you could essentially pass with a 1-to-1. So the ratio of profit target to how much drawdown you have is relatively close together. In the 150k account size, for example, you have a profit target of 9,000, the max drawdown is 5,000, just over a 2-to-1 ratio. And it's exactly why the traders who are banking the 6-figure payout opt for these accounts, because it takes a lot less trades to pass and can be usually done within 1 to 2 trades without feeling the effects of the live trailing drawdown, which is a big thing in Apex. And I'm going to show you how to manage and deal with the live trailing drawdown, because I know some of you guys who probably are trading Apex always struggling with the live trailing drawdown. I've struggled with it, believe me. I've tried the Apex run before. I've struggled with the live trailing drawdown. I'm going to show you how to deal with and manage with it as we progress in this video. And oh yeah guys, by the way, Apex are currently running the best discount they've ever ran in the history of Apex, right? They're giving $6 activation fees. So that means that in order to activate the account once you pass, you only have to pay $6 compared to usually before it's like $80 or $150. And the cost of the accounts are literally $78. So you can be all in into a challenge for like $82. That's with the activation fees, and that's with the cost of the challenge. You can be all in $80. So this is the best time to actually be buying Apex accounts if you want to set yourself up for this run, right? So use code GeraldTrades at checkout in order to activate the special discount and the special $6 activation fees at checkout. Anyways, I digress. I just wanted to give you guys a visual of what I meant when I said the profit target to drawdown ratio needs to be quite close to each other for it to make sense. For example, if you look at the 50k account here, right? Profit target is $3,000. Your max drawdown is $2,500. If you go to the 100k account, right? Look at this. The profit target is $6,000 and your max drawdown is only $3,000. So it's only gone up $500 from the $2,500. But look at how much more profit you have to make. You have to literally make double the profit with essentially the same drawdown as you would have on a 50k account. So do you see what I'm saying? Why it's important even picking the right account matters, because some of you guys are going to think, oh yeah, let me just buy this account. But no, you need to think about this, because now trying to make $6,000 using the same drawdown you would have basically on a profit target that could have been half of that, it's going to be a lot more difficult, guys. It's going to take a lot more effort to pass this challenge. The more effort and the more trades you take, the higher likely that you're going to fail the challenge. So that's why it's important to pick the right challenge, guys. The 250k account size, because some of you think, oh yeah, I need more drawdown, but think about what it takes to actually be able to get funded, because that's what's the most important thing. The profit target is $15,000 and the max drawdown that you have is $6,500. Look at the 150k account. The profit target is $9,000 and the max drawdown is $5,000. For only an increase of $1,500 in drawdown, you have to make an additional $6,000 just to be able to get funded. And the craziest thing is that because of this offer and discount that's running right now, they're all the same prices. So it doesn't make sense to then go for an account that's going to take you a lot more effort to pass, whereas you can just go for another account that's going to take you less effort. By virtue of it taking less effort, that means you're going to take less trades to pass, so the chance of you actually passing the account are going to increase. So yeah guys, buying the right account is essential for your success with Apex. I know some of you guys have just thought, oh my god, why did I not think about that before? But yes, buying the right account size matters when it comes to making Apex work. And I know you might be thinking, okay, but it's great, I get the accounts, but how do I pass them without blowing them, and how do I pass them quickly? I've always been an advocate for passing the challenge phase as quickly as possible whilst maintaining a degree of risk management, so you don't blow the account in one trade. And the beauty of Apex is that they don't have a consistency rule in the challenge phase, so you can pass in one day. You don't have to break down your trades in order to pass in a few days. You can literally pass in one day and be funded by tomorrow. But that's also a downside if you're not careful and you don't have the right approach to passing these funded accounts, because things can go left very quickly, because the idea that you can pass within one day and then mixing in the live trading threshold within that as well, things can go left very quickly because the live trading threshold is annoying. So that's why it's important to have the sweet spot that allows you to be able to deal with the live trading drawdown, because you're not then demanding too much from price, because you're not giving price a massive opportunity to come back against you. And that's why I advise the method 1 approach, because it's very, very risk adverse and it allows you to be able to scale and be able to pass fairly quickly whilst dealing with that live trading threshold. So what you're going to do, right, is you're going to take your drawdown, divide it by 4, and you're going to risk that for each trade, aiming for a 1:2, which is a 2-to-1 RR, or 1:2.5 RR. And by you just dividing your drawdown into 4 and then aiming for these profit targets, you should be able to pass your challenge within 2 to 3 trades. If you take a loss, you're going to half your risk until you're break even, then restart the cycle of trying to pass again. I'll give an example. If you have a 50k account size, your max drawdown is 2,500, right? So you're going to take the $2,500 drawdown, you're going to divide it by 4. That's going to give you a risk of $625 per trade. So what you're going to do, you're going to take $625 per trade, aiming for a 1:2.5 RR. That should allow you to net just above the profit target, and that should allow you to pass the challenge within 2 trades. Now, I know you might be thinking, okay, Joe, that's all good if I get 2 trades in a row. If you take a loss, you're going to half your risk from $625 to $320, aiming for 2-to-1 to get back to your starting point of $625. Then you restart the process again. If you take another loss, stay at $320 risk until you get back to this break-even standpoint for you to be able to start the cycle. And this approach is going to allow you to be aggressive, but it's going to allow you to be moderate in terms of your risk management. That's why I call it risk adverse. All right, for the 150k example, the max drawdown is 5,000. The profit target is 9,000, right? So we're going to take our 5,000 divided by 4. So that's going to give us a $1,250 risk per trade. Across 3 trades, aiming for 1:2.5 RR, we should be able to net and pass with a profit of 9,375. So we should be able to pass the challenge fairly simply within 3 trades, right? If you take a loss again, you're going to half your risk from 1,250 to 625, aim for a 2-to-1 to get back your 1,250, then restart the process. If you take another loss, stick to the $625 risk until you get back to break even. Now, method 2 is less risk adverse. I know a lot of people push for an advocate for just full port in Apex accounts, you know, just risk everything in one trade and pass in one trade. I do understand that angle, but I don't really like the idea of blowing it all in one trade, because what's the point? These accounts cost money. So to mimic that to the closest degree possible whilst being able to stay in the game for more than one trade, this is the less risk adverse approach. I do recommend the method 1, but if you guys are more risky, instead of full porting, I have a better solution for you. You're going to risk 50% of your drawdown on the first trade, aiming to make a big portion of your profit target. Then what you're going to do, you're going to scale back the risk for that final portion that you need in order to pass the account. With the 50k account size, you can actually do it in one trade. The drawdown is $2,500. So what you're going to do, you're going to half that $2,500 risk. So that's going to give you a risk per trade of $1,250. And you're going to take that $1,250 and you're going to aim for 1:2.5 RR. By just having half of your drawdown risk on that one trade, you're going to actually be able to convert that account in one trade. So do you see the power and the difference between the drawdown ratio to profit target? But what happens if you take a loss? You haven't blown your account because you haven't full ported. So you're going to take the remaining drawdown, which is 1,250 divided by 4, which is going to give you $312. You're going to be risking 312 to make a 2-to-1 until you get back to break even. Then you restart the process. In the 150k example, you're going to take the 5,000 divided by 2, it's going to give you a $2,500 risk per trade. You're going to take that $2,500 risk per trade. You're going to aim for a 1:2.5 RR. That's going to give you a profit on that trade of $6,250. And then what you do, you're going to half that $2,500 risk per trade. And then you're going into that final portion of what you need to be able to pass the account. You're going to risk $1,250 to make a 1:2.5 RR. That should give you a $3,100 profit target, and you should have passed the account. If you take a loss, you're going to divide the remaining drawdown by 4, aiming for 2-to-1 RR per trade until you get back to break even. So do you see, it's a lot more aggressive than this, but instead of the full porting the other guys push for and tell you to full port your account, you're not losing it all in one trade, because at the end of the day, we're spending money to get these challenges and you just don't want to risk everything in one trade. Now, here's the 6 to 7 figure winning formula. And look, for you to be able to pull these 6-figure payouts, and hopefully some of you guys are then able to reach the top and be able to pull a 7-figure payout with Apex, this is the formula, right? You guys need to understand that with Apex, momentum is everything. This is how these traders who are pulling 6-figure payouts consistent with Apex, and the ones that have been able to hit the 7-figure payouts of Apex have done. All they're doing is taking advantage of the scale potential Apex allows you, and then they're using momentum on their side in order to scale to these heights. So what they're doing, so they're buying 10 to 20 accounts, right? Obviously, if you don't have that much money to buy 10 or 20 accounts, you can buy 5 accounts and you can scale. Once you get your payout, I'm going to show you how to achieve your first payout with minimum effort. Once you get to your first payout, right, you can then buy more accounts. The aim is to be in a position where you have 20 accounts, because if you have 20 accounts, it's much easier to scale across the board, because to then make a 6-figure payout, you only need 5,000 in each account to be able to reach that. To make $200,000, you only need 10,000 in each account in order to make $200,000. And think about that. The scale potential of that is just massive the more accounts you have. So once you buy those accounts and you pass them using the approach I just showed you, right? What you need to do is that once you get to the funder stage, guys, you need to slow the fuck down. This is where everyone dies on Apex, because they die for the lure of the idea that they can make $500,000 in a day, $100,000 in a day, $10,000 in a day. You need to slow down, because only aiming for those big numbers is actually just going to increase what you need to make in order to reach a payout. So what you need to do is you need to stick base hits in the funded account, guys. And why do I say stick to base hits, guys? Base hits allow you to consistently make profit while dealing with the live trailing threshold until you get off the live trailing threshold, and then you can become more aggressive. And base hits allow you to maintain the barrier to the payout consistency requirement low. Aim to make $500 to $1,000 per day per account, depending on each account size. So if you're trading 50k accounts, aim to just make $500 per day. One thing you need to understand is that to crack Apex, you need full focus and relentless discipline is required. The moment you slip, you will tilt and blow it all, guys. I promise you right now, don't try overdo it. Because that's the law of Apex. You see, because there's this idea that you can get a massive payout, you guys get caught up in that. And some of you guys that have tried Apex before, you get caught up in the idea if you can make this much money in a day. That's the law. That's the trap. That's how then they make their money. Do you come trying to say? So you need to be able to have full focus and understand the goal and the mission is that aiming for those basics and then become more aggressive as you get out of the drawdown and as you get off the trading threshold. Because some of you guys are trying to be aggressive out the bat, and then the trading threshold is just eating your drawdown, and then you blow the account. You need to have the focus and you need to have the mission in mind. The mission is to be able to get those 6-figure pets, but you need to do things the right way. And that's why the big traders who kill in Apex use the one and done approach. If you take a win on Apex, stop trading for the day. There's no benefit in trying to make more money on Apex if you take one W on a day, because the more money you make, it only increases your barrier to payout, because you got to remember there's a 30% of consistency rule. So your biggest day, in order for you to get a payout, cannot be more than 30% of your total payout. So the more money you make in a day, the more you have to make in total for you to be able to eligible for a payout. So it doesn't make sense. So use the one and done approach. And if you can consistently utilize the one and done approach, guys, you're going to see you're going to be able to scale with Apex so quick. And I wish I really implemented this when I was trying to do my Apex run. Don't worry, I'm coming Apex. I'm coming for my run now. Now, for the initial payout strategy, because I believe it's important to pay ourselves early because they cost a lot. If you're taking advantage of the current discount they have, right, you're spending about $80 per account. If you're buying 20 accounts, that's like $1,600, guys. So it's important that we are able to pay ourselves initially, so we just make our money back that we spent going into this run. So what you're going to do, you're going to take your buffer profit goal and you're going to add $1,000, right? And you're going to calculate the consistency score, and you're going to use that as your max daily profit target. For example, on a 50k account, the minimum profit for you to be eligible to be able to start getting a payout is $2,100. Of course, you need to be able to make another $500 to be able to pull that $500 out, but you need to reach $2,100 to be able to actually start looking to get a payout, right? So what you're going to do, you're going to take that $2,100, right? You're going to add $1,000 to it. So that's going to give you a profit target of $3,100. So that means that for you to be eligible for your initial payout, you're going to need to make $3,100 on your 50k account. And what you're going to do, you're going to calculate the consistency score off that $3,100 profit target. And you do that by obviously taking the profit target, $3,100 divided by 10. That's going to give you 310, which is 10% off 3,100, times by 3, which gives you the 30% consistency rule of $930 max daily profit in order for you to be eligible for a payout at $3,100. Of course, in a 150k account, the minimum profit requirement is $5,100. You're going to take that $5,100, add $1,000 to it, and then obviously calculate the consistency score, which is going to be $1,500. And of course, to be eligible for a payout with Apex, you need 8 trading days, and 5 of those trading days must have a profit of $50 minimum to be eligible for the payout. So you could essentially meet your profit objective, right? $6,100 or $3,100, right? And then you can just flip some days to be able to unlock the payout. And then if you meet that payout, think about this, guys. If you bought 20 accounts, you're eligible for a $1,000 payout, which means that on 20 accounts, you've just been eligible for a $20,000 payout. On 10 accounts, you've just been eligible for a $10,000 payout across 10 accounts. On 5 accounts, you've just been eligible for a $5,000 payout. The aim is to get that first payout, pay yourself, and then start scaling after, guys. So I hope you guys found value in this video. I hope you guys learned something. If you did learn something, let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to be taking advantage of that Apex discount. Guys, this is the biggest opportunity, and this is the best time in order to capitalize on the accounts, because I don't think they'll ever be this cheap again. Usually you have a bigger activation fee, so you can be all in like on 20 accounts, $3,000, $2,000 sometimes. And here we're talking like almost half that. So this is the best time if you want to get into Apex so you can potentially scale. I've shared with you guys the blueprint on how people are able to do it. Be sure to go check out my 25 days of Christmas series where I'm sharing everything that I've learned from ICT and ICT concept, and I'm just showing what actually works within the ICT world. So be sure to go check those videos out. And also I just created a free Telegram where I'm posting free daily analysis, free weekly analysis, trade recaps and trade outlooks. Is going crazy. I'm going to put the link to the Telegram in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.